If you had told me 5 years ago that I was starting completely over at the age of 34 as an electrician apprentice, I would have laughed at you. But yet, here I am. I am 34, almost 35, and I'm getting up every morning, throwing on work boots instead of dress shoes, trading cold calls for power tools, and learning a whole new skill set from the ground up. Now, I spent almost a decade in sales, and don't get me wrong, sales can be great. I made decent money. There was good years. There was really good years. There was also some really bad years. And I met a lot of cool people. Learned how to communicate, negotiate, a whole bunch of stuff that was very helpful to me. But at the end of the day, I never really felt like I was really building anything, at least anything with real meaning to it. And I didn't really feel like I had a skill that could necessarily stand on its own. I mean, if the company I worked for shut down, or if I got burned out, which I did, what exactly would I be left with? And over the years, through a lot of frustrations with the ups and downs of my career, being burnt out, feeling the things that I mentioned about just feeling like I wasn't building anything meaningful, or just having like a real sense of pride in my work, what kept coming back to mind was the trades. I've always respected electricians, plumbers, carpenters, all of these people. The guys who actually do things and build things with their hands. Like, people rely on these guys. The world needs them. And I wanted that. Like, I realized that I wanted to do something that I could look at a finished product and say, I built that. I wired that. I made that work. And the more I looked into these things, the more I realized that the trades are not just some like fallback plan. They are actually one of the smartest career moves out there. Now, you can make some serious money. There's consistent demand. And rather than selling something, you can create something that lasts. Plus, with enough experience and a journeyman's license, you can work for yourself, you can set your own rates, and you can essentially own your future. But I won't lie to you, starting over, especially at 34, which some people who listen to this, they're going to say, yeah, you're pretty old. And that there's going to be other people who, I talk to often that are going to say, man, you are still so young. But starting over at 34 is still a hard thing to do. Walking into this new job, this new career, I really had to swallow my pride. I went from being super experienced to being the new guy, asking a million questions, making mistakes, just starting from scratch. And a lot of people probably look at me starting over in this career at 34 and think that, dude, you're too old to start over. But honestly, I would rather spend the next few years learning something that I think will give me freedom than spending the next 30 regretting that I didn't do it. And that's kind of why I started this channel, the Trade Life Journal. This isn't some kind of like polished, I've got it all figured out type of thing or channel. I'm learning as I go. And I intentionally started this channel in the beginning. I've only been doing this 2 months, going on my 3rd month now. And I intentionally started this now because originally I was going to start this channel later on, maybe a year in, because in my mind I was thinking, what value can I provide people in starting this channel when I'm only a couple months in? But I really want to document the process and the journey of starting off as an apprentice, and hopefully encouraging some people to take that leap of faith and make the jump into the trades, whether you're young, coming out of high school, and you don't know what you want to do with your life. I hope that I can provide some valuable insight into this profession, into electrical work, or just into trades in general. And hey, maybe it helps you figure out that you don't want to do that. I don't know. I just want to provide like an honest look into what it's like being an apprentice, starting at the bottom, and just document it. And I think that will be valuable to a lot of people. That's why I decided to start it now rather than waiting until I'm more experienced. So if you are curious about the trades and you want to follow along with my journey from apprentice to master, because that is my goal one day, in the near future, I want to be a master electrician. That is my end goal, is to work for myself and kind of take control of my life and my future. And if you are someone who's curious about getting into the trades or just wanting to follow along in the journey, I hope you would subscribe and follow along. But I'm excited, so stick around and let's build something.